or not hot drop? What's the play? I think we both came to the conclusion that if it's an even sort of figure, and which in this case it is, you've got to just back yourselves in. If they were further behind, it's like VTR and Bay. Do they hot drop? Do they go down and try and take on Divine? Those are the questions. I think for Fury and for Buram, you've got to trust yourselves. You've got to back yourselves in and see if you can win it on your own terms. But look at this. Bay, Divine, Fury, Buram. Are they all just hot dropping each other? What's going on right now? This looks like a Bay, Divine hot drop, potentially. Not confirmed yet. Of course, teams can still float away from each other. Levi's going to go straight down, but feels like the game has already started.
Yeah, this is a definite interesting start to our final game.
This is a Monka S time, by the way. Just
definitely. This could go any which way, and Fury and Buram very close by as well, so we could have an interesting start with a lot of our leading teams sort of coming in and fighting each other very early off the bat.
Oh my days, Neville, what are you doing? Of course, there's no guns right now, only vehicles. Bay have just completely hot dropped them. Turtle's knocked down by Flood. It's only Levi's trying to run away with a machete, but Flood's got the S8, 6, whatever the numbers are. 2 are gone for Divine in the first 30 seconds.
Sophia gets knocked out by Nev as well.
What's going
with
on?
The machete. The player from Divine got in the car.
He's got away. They've bolstered up. They've completely bolstered up. Divine have got 3. Levi's gets away. What has he done? I've never seen anything like that in my life of casting PUBG. Levi's escapes the inescapable.
That's a very interesting way to start the game. And we were saying it was looking like it was going to be okay. We've got more as Fury.
Oh my God.
Juxi in the car chasing down Canaxi in the buggy. So there's 2 in the car as well. So Juxi can just focus on shooting.
Has Buram got guns? They don't have guns. He's going to try and line him up here with the Uzi. Juxi gets Canaxi. That's 1 on the board. He's going to hunt down Edie. Oh my days, but he's walking into the territory of Buram United. Nordra's around there as well at the tree. He doesn't have a gun either. Everyone's just hot dropping everyone. This is bizarre. I've never seen anything like it. Nordra's got an AK though. It's the AK versus the Uzi. Misses the jump. Needs to start and get a knockdown. This could go disastrously wrong for Fury. Juxi with a drive-by will just take 1, confirm that. And just at the very least means that Buram have only got 3. Get out for your lives. Stay up with 4 because right now out of the top 3 teams, Divine, Fury, and Buram, it's only Fury with 4 still up. Nordra, that's ambitious, surely. Even you've got to admit that one. What a start. A crazy 3.5 minutes. Well, really, let's be real. The last minute and a half, that is just, by God, I've never seen anything like that. I was expecting something crazy, Edge, but nothing like this. Even I'm taken back.
Yeah, this is probably one of the most interesting starts to a game of PUBG I have ever seen. The only other thing I can think of is the Na'Vi in the South Pachinki fields with I believe it was a shotgun or an SLR or something like that, driving around in circles, but absolutely menacing start here for our last game. It just shows what the rest of the game's going to have in tow.
This is what PUBG is all about, though, when it gets down to the nitty-gritty and you've got yourself a close tournament and you are, you know, in this situation, a legitimate battle royale, 3 to 5 teams all vying for that, just that one game to be crowned winners. This is what PUBG can produce. Of course, it comes down to the players, whether or not they go for these sort of plays, but you've got to just say credit to pretty much all of them involved. Bay, Fury, Buram, Divine, all taking big chances in the final game. No one shying away from that, especially the likes of Bay and Fury taking it right up to them. There is our kill proportions, and the statistics are nice, but for this final game, it's all about the eye test now. The stats don't matter. You can be first in kills or fourth in kills as long as you win this final game. You may just win PCS2 APAC. Things just calm down. It's like this boiling pot is just back on simmering rather than the lid being blown up. But don't get it twisted. This game is not over. We're only 5 minutes in. It's just going to get better and better from here.
Yeah, by no means is this game over right now. We do see Fury's Waikika Mukau very close to God Meow, and I'm guessing God Meow knows that Waikika Mukau is close, so he's playing this very cautiously. You don't want to lose any more players early. And just off our start, we've gone into this little bit of a lull right now, and it's just you just got to sort of catch your
Well,
breath.
it's not even a lull. It's just sort of the normal standard PUBG now has returned, which is the looting phase. These guys weren't looting. This is the beginning, by the way. Flood getting that initial knockdown. I have no idea how Levi's gets out alive and of that situation earlier on. It's just like an Assassin's Creed character or something jumping out of a building and riding away on a horse into the sunset from Levi's. And Divine have got 3 up rather than 2, and that's just so critical for the team that's in first position. Having 3, I know it seems weird, Edge, but the difference between 3 and 2 is so dramatic.
It definitely is, and it can change the entire tempo of a game, especially when it's so close like it is now. If you play too passively, if you play too aggressively, you're lacking a member. You know, everything can change at the turn of a hat, and missing you one player it shakes up your entire play style.
We haven't really spoken too much about the circle, which is a bit more favored on the eastern side around Farm Milta region. So this is, of course, where a lot of the action has been taking place. So the good news for these teams, Edge, is that while they did this hot drop bonanza, they can actually stay in these areas and loot up. They don't have to really go anywhere else, especially, you know, Fury around that lumber mill area, Buram on the edge of Milta, Bayer just looting up Milta as a whole, Astra over at Farm, and Divine over at Shelter. So these teams can all loot up. Jukesy coming from that written section now, as you can see on your minimap. 1 minute 40 seconds remaining, but yes, they can now loot up. You can see he's got some utility, etc.
Yeah, it didn't really change too much for them, as we see the nice replay getting the
That's
flush
such
with
a
the
big
Uzi.
drive-by, though.
That is a baller play, and especially with the player hunting you with the AK, it's just such a.
Do you reckon he's
play.
shirtless, Jukesy, right now? He has to be, surely.
100%. He'd be sweating bullets right now. He can't be wearing a shirt.
Carbs taking some shots at something else from Game Home of Archangel Predator. Not only have they jumped out of the bottom 2, but they're up into 12th now, and they can potentially even get to 10th. This has been a huge turnaround for Archangel Predator from the Philippines this weekend in particular, and a little bit of last weekend too. Signs of the charity showdown Archangel Predator that we saw earlier on in the year, but Divine wounded and down to 3. They haven't really had great locations to loot either, whereas Buram have had the outskirts of Milta, Fury with, you know, that prison, mansion, lumber mill area. They've been able to loot up. Niku's with a knockdown onto Yoshi Minburi. And you just wonder, though, have Bay... I mean, you just wonder, this could be the story that you talk about for months, maybe even years to come. What if Bay gets Levi's? If Divine capitalize here now with 3 players up, that's going to be the talking point. If they get Levi's and they only got 2, that changes the game. And obviously you can't sort of die wondering. The game's still alive right now and there's still a story to be told. Bay will be wondering how he got out, though.
Yeah, that's right. I think if Bay had have picked up Levi's there, that could have put Divine into that that sort of playing for rank mode that they've been playing once they start to lose, you know, a couple of players. So that could have changed the entire tempo. It was just lucky enough that, you know, the circle had come and favored sort of Divine's area, so they didn't have to really keep rotating too much or make plays to get any sort of position. So pretty lucky for Divine, and extremely lucky that Levi's actually got out with his life.
Full credit, though, of course, to Levi's for being able to get out from that situation. Circle moves up north for phase 2. Didn't have to. Just north of Shelter now for Divine Esports. Decent position for them. Fury coming in from behind, and then Buram United still just north of Milta. Of course, Buram have lost 1. Divine have lost 1. Bay with 4. VTR with 4. And Fury with 4. Astra going to try and clean out Basil here inside of the Wizzy Tower. Zoid's going to be knocked down by Hisaki. He should be able to get revived depending on if they've got the sight lines. But look at this, creeping up towards the compound of Divine. Insight Ronin on top of Shelter. They shouldn't have the information that is Divine over there. They won't be able to know that, and they may not even know there's a team in there fully confirmed until we see Divine shooting. Bay on the move as well. They make their way up just north of Farm, close by to MSC Theraton versus Cerberus up here on the hill. Extreme getting involved as well. Astra amongst it. Extreme knocked down by Yoshi Minburi. Flood. Now, of course, Bay heavily behind in terms of points for first position. They will need a lot of kills this game. Astra's just been wiped out by Cerberus. They've lost all 4 members, and they will be the first team eliminated at the 10.5 minute mark.
Yeah, a really rough tournament all on all for Astra here. They haven't had the run that maybe they would have liked or even expected. So I'm not sure what's going to happen with them now, but they really need to sort of take a step back and maybe think about what they need to do to keep putting some results on the board.
2 kills now for Battle Arena Elites, ties them up with VTR, so 20 points behind Divine Esports. So the mathematical equation as it stands, obviously they need Divine to get 0. Admittedly, you would also need Fury and Buram to get very little. Then Bay or VTR need to get a 10-kill win. Well, sorry, 10 extra kill to win from here, especially if you're Bay. VTR would need just 10 kills and a win from here, so... another Molotov going to go in. I don't think this one's landed, though. It may have got Ghoul a little bit, but Basil's fine. He'll throw out a smoke, try and clear that area. 55 seconds until phase 3. Not a lot of movement from Divine or Fury over towards that shelter region. Buram behind them, and Bay close by as well. So if this circle shifts onto those 4 teams, it would need to do so by going to the southeast. Anything else, and it kind of is going to screw over at least one of them. Vega got knocked down, same with Yoshimanbiri by Flash and Norrens of Day Trade. Bay just trying to pick apart the corpses outside of the Wizzy Town. They've done so. They've gotten one, and now Neverhall moving up as well. Bay understand their mission here, Edge. You can see it by their playstyle. It's run and gun.
Yeah, absolutely. Bay have realized that they need to get as many kills as possible, so they're putting themselves in all of these advantageous positions to do so. And, you know, they've already got 5 kills, so they're off to a flying start. If they can keep this momentum up, you know, anything's possible at this point.
Yeah, they could very well. They're more than capable of getting a 20-kill win, winning off that for first place. Rossiter Jr. will catch Loki's off guard at the edge of this shack. They're going to lose one, and that just makes things so difficult. And now they're going to lose Nephahor as well. They've just been swatted by Basil. Sophia with the nade. How things have turned, it's been the trend tonight. The story tonight is things can look good on paper, things can be looking good in general. There's that circle, and it went the opposite direction to where the top 3 teams needed it to go. It actually went to the southwest, right on top of this fight here. Sophia moving in, needs to clear out the right room, knows they're in there, sees the foot, just basically blows up his toes. The man is toeless now. Ghoul is gone. There's only one player left standing for Cerberus Esports. Bay are losing members, though, rapidly. How has Edie stayed alive? Never mind, he's knocked by Cow. That's a kill for Fury coming up. And it also means Buram United are going to be down to 2 players. Cow takes a few shots, though. Wants to just move away. Not worth it. He had someone else coming in. Insight confirms it. There's Levi's knocked down, though. Jayan's already eliminated. Diane is the last one standing for Divine Esports. Headshot behind the tree. Severely pressed. He has got a knockdown on Deboshi of Magic Esports. One over at the gas tanker, though, to his right-hand side. Diane gets a knock, but he can't get a second. Divine are out. 188 points, their final standing margin. Fury, Buram, the golden ticket's in your hands.
5 points is all that's needed for Fury right now. Fury still with 4 players up. Buram with 2 players, but it's still in reach for them as well. As long as they can keep their players alive and make it late game, it is incredibly possible. Divine have just done the unimaginable and choked this tournament from a position that at the midway point we were saying it was unchokeable.
Yeah, they had a 50-plus point lead. We thought it was over at one point, that they were going to just run away with it. They could have had a 70-plus point lead, but through a certain game, and then since then, they've just done nothing but collapse. Now, in saying that, the job's not done yet. Buram have got 2 players alive. Fury have got 4. They're still, though, 4 points behind Divine. I may be wrong, but I think they could actually have the kill differential if it comes down to that. But Fury, they should very well know, if they're doing their fact-checking in terms of the kill feed, that they have got an opportunity. So does Buram. Not only that, but Victim Rise have still got 4 players up. They're over at Potato Hill. Of course, that does mean they still need to go and have a big game. Bay are out, by the way. They're on 173 points in 4th place. Buram with 2 players. Can they go and get the 9 points required? That's the question. There's still all the chance in the world that Divine still win this if things don't go the way for Fury, Buram, or VTR.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. There's still a lot of work for Fury and Buram to do right
We're
now.
just merged together. And
yeah, that's it.
Where's the circle going to go, though? This is going to be a big one. It moves away from Fury. They've got some work to do. They don't need a whole lot. As we can see, only a couple of kills will do the trick. Nordra, Godmeow are going to have to leave farm, and they're close by to day trade. Fury, what's the play here, Edge? If you're in this situation, what do you do?
I feel like Fury right now, they either control the top hill, which is probably their most likely play, and go for as many kills as possible. Because you can't really send it anywhere with no information. I think they just need to take this top hill and start fighting.
Fury's on the move. Is this do or die time? Cow's going to send it out. He'll scout forward, see if he takes any shots. No one's going to shoot at him just yet. There is a Wizzy Tower right in front of him. Godmeow goes for the seat swap. No, never mind, changes his mind. There's the rest of Fury from behind. Rossiter Jr. on the move as well for MSC Theraton. Godmeow taken down to 64 health. Of course, one of the duos from Buriram United gets inside of the shack. Ronan with a bit of damage onto him. Still inside of the Dacia. He's got the information. Cow's low, but he gets inside of the Wizzy Tower. Flash. Oh, knocked down though. Cow's gone down to Nordra. Buriram United. Nordra's knocked down. That's from Flash of Day Trade. It's casualties galore, but this is exactly what Divine wants right now. Ronan almost flipping the Dacia like it's a bike, but they get inside. Cow knocked, Ronan knocked, Insight Jukesy still up. They're 3 points away from Divine, but they're so far away from placement points. They need kills. And if they can get these revives, though, maybe play from the Wizzy Tower. They are inside of the circle. Day Trade could push on them, though. And if they do so, very easy to throw a nade or a Molotov in there and really spoil the party. It would be heartbreaking for Fury, but it would be well played from Day Trade, knowing that there's 2 knocked. This is the prime time to push on them. There it is. Poochills, Beryl, Molotov. One hops out. Ronan's low. Can't get a heal off in time. Is he sitting in the window? No, he's sitting on one of the shacks or something. Day Trade have only got the 3 players. This is so aggressive. Insight knocked. Insight's not flushed, though, because the barrel's low. Needs to get reloaded. Fury, are they on the verge of just missing out on top spot by 3 points? It would be devastating. Poochills takes out Insight, gets Ronan. I think there's only one standing up. It's Waikika Mukau that's alive for Fury. It's do or die time. Knockdown, Poochills. It's Jukesy who's up. They've got 2. I'm wrong with my assumption that it was only Cow. They've got 2 standing. It's Jukesy and Waikika Mukau. Jukesy over at Farm, Cow inside of the Wizzy Tower, and Hope is still alive.
Yeah, my heart cannot handle this action right now. This is so close. What is it? Only 2 points in it?
2 kills.
3 points in it.
2 kills away. Of course, Buriram are down to 1 player. 9 points behind Divine. You'd think it's over for Buriram's sake. Obviously, for Divine, it's over for them in terms of being able to get anything extra, but they're just praying right now that Fury go out. VTR's still got 4 players up, and they do control a lot of the western portion of this circle, but Edge, I doubt whether or not they're going to be able to get the kills required, plus the win. It could happen, but they need to get a move on and start finding kills. They're in 5th place right now, 4 points behind Bay for Victim Rise of Indonesia. Of course, Buriram, 1 player. It's Godmeow. I don't think he's going to be able to overtake Divine, and I actually don't even think he's going to be able to overtake Fury. But can Fury, with 2 players up, find 2 kills? That's what they need. Jukes is still over towards Farm, inside of the circle, just keeping watch. But if he gets knocked, he's out. Cow gets knocked, he's out. It's as simple as that. That's a placement point. They're on a placement point. They're 1 point behind Divine. 1 point, but the circle moves away from Cow and Jukesy. Godmeow is still in, but he's spotted from X Stadium. Flash still alive for Day Trade as well. Out to the far east. You can see it on your map, how those 3 players are not inside of the circle. How can Fury get in? How can they find just 1 more point? I've never seen something this close. It's the final game for PCS2 APAC. Can they get this final point, Edge? The smokes are out. It's the final ones. There it is. Last smoke from Cal. He makes the run towards Godmeow. That could be the point they need. God